Okay, so we're here on Thursday, the last day, just an hour from closing at SBI 2019 North America Smart Energy Week. This is the SolarCoaster live show. It's been a great show, Jay.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've seen so many cool technologies throughout generally the message of the show seems to be storage and intelligence in storage is the actual key piece of this.
This is a big deal, especially coming from Hawaii where storage is everywhere. 80% of permit pulls do have storage in them. And we've learned the hard way that you can't just stack up a bunch of batteries and then expect it to work great. There's a lot more that goes into that thinking process. And load controls and finding ways to shed loads to make your batteries kind of do the job even better, that's where the conversation went this year. And we were really excited to see that. Early on, though, we had a chance to kind of like peek, kind of pull the curtain open and peek behind to kind of see the magic. We met some really fine folks at PanTech Design, and they helped us understand early on, very early on, the notion of how to work with energy storage in an intelligent way.
Absolutely.
Right?
And we've been familiar with PanTech's version 1 system for quite some time now, but releasing at SPI 2019 is the version 2. And to talk about that, we have Troy Morgan, the man, president of PanTech Design, who was
right there.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you, buddy?
How you doing?
You guys are awesome.
We'll do the Maui thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you guys have been here the whole show. I know you've seen a lot of cool stuff. We're thankful for you to drop by and spend some time with us on the Adapt Energy improvements and things that we've added to our already great offering. I was going to, if I may, share a little bit about some of the quick things that we did to sort of move the needle in the right direction and also take a look at some of the software as well.
Absolutely, we're really excited to hear that. You know, we spent the last, I'm going to say 6 months learning about this really unique technology with these, we did the PanTech Design Minutes on our radio show, and we got a good sense for these amazing value propositions that are created when you have intelligent control of your storage systems. And
really cases that you can really take advantage of even a small amount of storage. You can stretch it out and you can customize your experience to any lifestyle.
And it was the narrative that helped us understand it. What's your situation? What's happening in that circumstance? And then as we kind of walked through it in our imagination, we said, oh, that's something that's great, and that's something that's neat, and I hadn't thought about that. So yeah, we're really stoked to find out what's new.
Yeah, well, one of the coolest things for us is coming from the home automation space and being in there for the better part of 15, 16 years. I mean, we're device guys, right? We love interfacing and integrating with devices. And when we learned about Sonnen, that being one of the most intelligent energy storage systems in the world, it just like the light bulbs went off, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 and here we are with the Adapt Energy panel and a version that just does some incredible things. And one thing I do want to sort of touch on is some of the choices we made with the panel design, because there are a lot of other things out there that can do load shedding and those kind of things, but we took a very industrial level kind of approach to what we did. We wanted to make sure that we chose industrial grade components for the panel. We wanted to make sure that it was something that people could rely on. I mean, we're playing with people's power here. I don't want to get those phone calls at Sunday at 1 in the morning when a homeowner has an issue. So industrial grade is a big deal for us. Again, why we chose to side with the Sonnen battery technology. So for a moment, I want to touch on a couple of key things here that we added for just some of that industrial level component. This top left piece here, one of the new additions to the panel, grid level, basically understanding grid or not, right? We're hardwired to that grid. We know when the grid goes down, and because of that hardwired connection, we can actually shed load in less than a half a second on 16 breakers, just like that. So when you're talking about, maximizing capability, that's one thing. But we can actually do main panel installations because of this load shedding capability. It allows us to make sure that we're not going to ever, overdo an inverter in a battery. So that's a fantastic addition. Another addition was our plug trap, which is fantastic. It's a weird name.
Such
Have you ever heard it?
Yeah,
right.
I've spent my life in electronics, and you said that, and I'm like, what is it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, let's change the name for a moment. Call it the Super Duper Special Surge Protector.
There you go.
It's a sacrificial piece, right? Because it actually will sacrifice itself, take a massive lightning strike, and it'll blow, and basically the panel stays on. It's an odd thing to be able to say, right? The thing's going to blow, the panel stays on, because this thing's got to do its job. And so when it blows, the panel's still going to run. It won't be protected at that time, but the beauty of it is you pop that thing out, you put a new $15 plug trap in, and away you go. So just a couple of cool things that we've been able to add to the panel.
Absolutely fantastic. I've always been impressed with your hardware design. Like I said, I spent some time in electronics. I built my own a lot of stuff, and this is well done.
Thanks, man. No, a lot of time, a lot of effort went into that. But on the software end of things, we've added some really cool stuff too. This is actually my home, which is kind of nice to be able to show a real live system. This is the Sonnen dashboard that we have that allows us to see exactly what's going on with grid, solar, the whole smash. And you'll see these things moving around. And what's cool is the Sonnen battery technology is super speedy in terms of feeding this information. This is real-time stuff, right? I mean,
watch that. It just switched. Right now, your solar's exporting, and then it switched. It was pulling from the grid.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
You got 9 kilowatts at what time? How big is your system? You're like 30, 40 kW?
No, it's not. I wish, guys. No, it's a 12.16, so it's not
12
massive,
kilowatts.
but yeah, it's doing its job, right?
Do you get a lot of west-facing azimuth? Or?
Yeah, I certainly do.
Okay.
I got lucky there.
Right.
So this right here is our newest integration with Kerb Energy. We're really high on those guys. We love what they're doing, and this allows us to take this granular level of control, or actually monitoring. So you can see here, not only am I monitoring my consumption loads, I'm actually be able to monitor in a granular level the production load. Wow. So that's important, because once you get over here and start controlling things, having that information is what gives us the ability or the information we need to make that decision. Pressing buttons.
Can you go back to that one panel?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Point something out.
Yeah.
This is string level.
Absolutely.
Not total the whole system. This is individual strings, so you can tell exactly what's going on.
That's pretty cool.
Are those strings equally balanced, roughly speaking, do you think?
The top two are, so string 1 and 2 are equally balanced, and string 3 and 4 is equally balanced. And that was by design because of our load shedding capability. So one of the things that we do when a grid loss occurs, if it occurs, is we shut down solar array 3 and 4. So that we can protect the inverter and the battery, because 1 and 2 can actually do just under 8,000 watts. It's actually 3840 a string. So you see how that works?
Yeah, no, I get it. That's really fascinating. So you're actually controlling not only consumption, you're also controlling production. You're balancing it out. You know what that sounds like to me?
What?
That sounds like a grid operator.
Doesn't it? or a microgrid operator, right?
Yeah. There's some guys in Ma'alaya back in Maui that are handling a couple hundred megs that are doing the same thing.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, geez, great minds, right? I guess last but not least, our scheduler is a new addition. This is a really big addition, because now we can actually schedule load, we can schedule HVAC directly, so I can actually control Nest and Ecobee thermostats directly from that Adapt Energy panel, so that we can do load shedding, shaping, and shifting based on a schedule. We can even set the battery backup reserve and turn on and off loads as needed or on a schedule. Even do them on sunrise and sunset, and plus or minus offsets in that regard. Pick your days that you want to do it, and away you go.
And all on one screen.
All on one screen. Super simple and easy.
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, those are just a couple of things that we've added. We're super excited to be here, seeing a lot of cool stuff that other people are doing, and
I know you say incremental, but those are significant, like, ease of use lifestyle improvements.
No, they are. They really are. And since I live it, right, I get to enjoy that. Sometimes my wife doesn't enjoy me turning on and off breakers while I'm demonstrating. But hey,
I have a question for you.
Yeah, please.
So, when we became aware of PanTech design, the notion of load controls and smart breakers, that was a new conversation. We weren't hearing that a lot before, right?
Yeah, right.
And so I think maybe last year at SPI, it was like I think we described you guys as you guys that stole the show. That's how we described it.
Yeah.
And how do you feel seeing that conversation, that kind of prescient conversation back in SPI 2018, is now maybe one of the more important things that are happening in the show? Actually, the idea, the smart, the intelligence, the breaker level control, the granular control. A lot of people are talking about it now. How does that feel, having come from that position and now seeing everyone talking about the same thing?
It feels great, I guess, but the talking has been going on for a long time. I mean, you know, I've spoken to so many people in this industry, and the talk has been out there, and I think I shared this with you earlier, that, you know, there's a lot of talking. We're doers. And so when we started to see the need, it was just a matter of choice and to do, right? And the other thing that I think along those lines, you know, when you talk about how we feel about it, it feels a little bit like a pioneer type of an operation. You know, we're pioneering some things that I think are absolutely necessary. You know, solar's fantastic. Battery storage is fantastic. They have a beautiful marriage. Without intelligence and without the ability to sort of take that next step and move the needle in that right direction even more, I don't think we've got the full system. And I think what we do is augment those two things in such a way that it's truly now a full energy automation system that can manage a home so that a homeowner doesn't have to be pressing buttons, right? It should just do what it's supposed to do.
Absolutely.
We feel awesome about what we're doing.
Fantastic. Well, I can't thank you enough for talking to us about
Likewise.
this, for kind of, you know, pointing into the future for a direction of where the industry's going. It's some pretty amazing things, Troy. And I really appreciate
it. I would leave you with imitation is the serious form of flattery.
I love it. That's a great thing to hear, because there are a lot of other guys that are, you know, that are doing some similar things. But we truly believe that we've got a leading product.
And now you're in V2.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, sir.
Really appreciate the time.
Excellent.